Good morning, everyone. Good and Erev Shabbos. It is Friday, July 10th, Erev Shabbos, Parshat Pinchas. I hope everybody had an easy and meaningful fast. Of course, we now find ourselves in the period known as the 3 weeks, where we have some morning restrictions that are upon us, and we curtail our pleasurable activities, and the restrictions escalate as we get closer to Tisha B'Av, which we'll talk about along the way. Please continue to daven for Shalema, especially during this difficult time for the Jewish people, but for those in our community, Mordechai ben Elka, Rabbi Folzev ben Rikkel, Gittel Basara, Noah Alice Batlilach, Esther, Rezel Basara, and all those who need a refuah Shalema. Please continue to pray for their well-being and to do mitzvahs on their behalf. And also, again, I want to thank everyone for participating and taking part in our virtual journal campaign, which is ongoing, and we will have our celebration at some point. Certainly it'll be well after Tisha B'Av, but as we honor Barbara and Andy Hutter and Yoni Glad as very, very deserving honorees. And again, thank you for your participation. We rely on this fundraising effort for our bottom line, and it's the largest fundraiser that we have during the year. Today, our sponsor for the video, which very much sort of plays into the Parsha, as we'll see, but every year on 7/11, which is July 11th, which this year falls on Shabbos, so it's a highlight for people to go to 7-Eleven and get a free Slurpee. So if anybody ever wondered, why does 7-Eleven give away free Slurpees on 7-Eleven? So of course you're going to tell me the obvious reason is because it's 7-Eleven, it's July 11th. But the real reason they do it is because 7-Eleven has a tremendous appreciation for Josh Stein and celebrating his birthday, that they want to give all of their patrons free Slurpees in honor of Josh Stein's birthday. So this year, though, I don't know, they must have had some sort of falling out, but for the first time in like forever, 7-Eleven is not giving out free Slurpees. So Josh, I don't know, you might want to fix that, but thank you to Shira and to Abby and to Maya, Rose, and to Jordan for sponsoring in honor of Josh's birthday, Papa Stein. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that, you know, one of the great memories we're going to have going forward is that the last time we had a real simcha as we know it, meaning we could all get together inside, and we're so lucky and fortunate that we got it in just under the wire, was Jordan Stein's bat mitzvah, which was right before the pandemic. So, and Jordan did a great job, by the way, great job. So, happy birthday, Josh, and this Torah is in your honor. I just realized that, you know what, I got to do this properly. To put on the proper wristwear when speaking to Josh Stein, because, you know, a Fitbit, well, you know, this is probably like 9 years old, I don't know, but now I can see, this is very good. In the Parsha, we talk about Josh's Elter Zayde. I don't know how many people realize this, but Josh Stein is a Levi. Which also asks us the question is that now that Shira is going to be the new co-president, what will we call Josh? I'll leave that to the audience to figure out what you're going to call Josh. Well, Josh is a Levi, and his predecessors and his family before him, we have the story of Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aaron HaKohen, of course, from the family of Levi, and how Pinchas, how he acted zealously. And we're not going to talk about zealous behavior because, you know, you don't need me for that. That's what Facebook is for. I want to talk about a different part of the Parsha, which something that had always resonated with me for some time, till about 5 years ago, when it resonated less. And that is, of course, the story of Benos Tzlavchad, where you have this individual named Tzlavchad who had 5 daughters. Imagine, he had 5 daughters and no sons. And the daughters approached Moshe Rabbeinu and they wanted to know what their status was as far as inheritance. Now, we can relate this, of course, to Josh. Josh has a beautiful family and he's a lone wolf in a house full of ladies. And the lesson, or one of the lessons that we learned from the story of Benot Tzlavchad, and they use also this terminology, Lama Nigara, why should we be left out, is that they saw an issue that had no resolution that was readily available for them. They sought the counsel of Moshe Rabbeinu, And because of them, a new halacha was taught, a new law was taught about how inheritance would transfer and go from generation to generation, especially if there are no male inheritors. Of course, we're a male-dominated society, a whole conversation for another time. But this was the reality, is that you had a family of girls, and they wanted to know what their status was. But they also took, and I can imagine, they're not the only family that had only girls. It can't be. But they made the effort to do something about it. They had personality, they had perspicacity, and they had the wherewithal to say, let's find out what our status is in the eyes of Moses, in the eyes of God, in the eyes of the Torah and the Jewish law. And we learn also that they were all considered equally righteous. And that's because the Torah, when they list this episode in a couple of places, it puts their names in different orders, and it tells that Kulam Nashim Tzidkanios. They were all particularly righteous. And it has to be said that it's not coming only from themselves, which a great deal does, but it also comes from their upbringing. And when individuals, man, woman, boy, girl, doesn't matter, have a strong upbringing where they want to tackle an issue and say, how does it apply to me? They could have easily just let it go and said nothing. But the fact is that they made us think about it. Again, not in a contentious manner and not in a way in a Me Too type of manner, you'll pardon the expression, but in a sense of, where do I fit in? I want to have a part in halacha. I want to have a part in the Torah as well. Now, I've known Shira and Josh for some time. We've had smachot together, and I even got Maya to smile once. And I could tell you about their parenting methods and how they lead by example for their children, is that there are no wallflowers in that home, that's for sure. And these are young, independent, beautiful women who take the lead from their parents, and they say, Lama Negara, why should I be left out? Where do I fit in? What's my role in the duty of the Torah? What is it that I have to contribute towards Judaism and towards the future of our people? And that's not something that we take for granted. And that's not something that happens in a vacuum. And that's something that happens when you have a strong family unit and when you have strong influence from parents, grandparents, extended families, etc. So, yes, it's fun to talk about free Slurpees and a summer birthday, etc. But Josh, we just wanted to recognize you on this day and the appreciation that your family has for you. And you're always calling me and texting me with, look at this issue that's happening in Israel. What are we going to do about anti-Semitism in America? Where is it that I could pitch in during COVID? And very much behind the scenes. I just outed you. But your family appreciates all of your efforts. They're happy that you've been home so much, or at least I say that you're happy that you're home so much in the last 4 months, which is probably something that's very bizarre for you, having not been on a plane for so long. But they also appreciate the sacrifice and the effort that you put in for the family as you travel so much and you work so hard, and you lead, as I said, by example. So this descendant of Pinchas, I hope you have a very, very happy birthday. I hope you have a wonderful Shabbos celebration with your girls. And I hope that we do come up with an appropriate title for you, certainly by August 1st. So to the Benos Slavchat of our generation, you keep up that great work. You keep up that inspiration that you give us, because you never just, take anything for granted. And Josh and Shira, you just keep doing what you're doing. Shira inspiring our children every single day at JKHA. And Josh, just doing what you do, and again, as I said at the Bat Mitzvah, mostly by being quiet and letting Shira make all the important decisions. But today is your day. Have a great Shabbos, a happy birthday. I wish everybody here a Shabbat Shalom. I look forward to seeing everyone in Shul. And again, please remember to sign up for the Minyanim as we continue with our system. I appreciate and I thank you for all of your cooperation and understanding. And again, have a peaceful, restful, and dry Shabbos.